What's up guys, my name is Ace, and today we got a huge info dump on basically everything we can expect to see for Call of Duty next week, as well as the Modern Warfare beta, which will follow immediately after that. And it looks like this is going to be the most content-packed beta we've ever seen in a Call of Duty game, because there's a lot going on here, and that's what I wanted to go over today. Please excuse the voice, my toddler just keeps bringing home all kinds of viruses, so once again sick, but let's dive in, starting it off with what we can expect at Call of Duty Next. So this is going to be taking place next Friday, August 21st. And with this, they're going to be showing off core 6v6 gameplay, kill block gameplay, which we've already seen kill block gameplay. There's going to be Warzone intel, but they didn't mention gameplay here, so that's interesting. However, we are going to be having a first look at Zodiac, which is a new resurgence map for Warzone. They also mentioned there's going to be over 1,000 creators and community players, which is definitely the biggest Call of Duty Next ever, although it is going to be played from home this time, so that explains why, because they're not having to fly everyone out to a venue. Then they also say there will be developer insights, launch maps and modes, reward drops, mobility course completion, and beta code giveaways. So it sounds like a pretty typical Next as far as the actual programming goes. So they're going to be having developers there talking about what to expect for the game, showing off some new features and things we haven't seen yet. And in the meantime, creators will be able to play the game a little bit before the beta officially goes live. But the cool thing is the beta is going live immediately after CoD NEXT is over. So it is also going live next Friday. And this is the early access portion of the beta where it does require a pre-order, or you have to secure a beta code some other way. I mean, we just said at Call of Duty Next, they're going to be giving away beta codes. Oftentimes, they send beta codes to us creators as well, and we can just give them away to our community. I don't have any information on that at this point, but obviously, if I do have those codes, I will be giving them away on stream. But let's talk about that early access portion of the beta. So this is the first weekend of the beta from the 21st to the 25th. And the first thing was a big surprise here. We're gaining access to a full campaign mission, which is called Entrenched. And we actually got like a little trailer for this campaign mission as well. And that was a fairly big surprise. I don't think we've ever had access to campaign in a beta. So it really seems like they're trying to hook us into the world and get us interested in that, which is interesting, I guess. I mean, I don't even know if I'm going to take the time to play through it because I'm going to be primarily focused on the multiplayer stuff. But I think it's neat, at least, that they're providing access to that. But then on top of that, for multiplayer maps, we're going to gain access to several maps that I've already covered in great detail in the past because we've seen some footage of it. We've got Rooftops, Silkworm, Transit 213, Cachette, Lotus, and Kill Block, which Kill Block isn't a map, it's a bunch of maps mixed into one, and it's randomly generated to a degree at least, where you have the 3 individual sections that will rotate out between rounds, and it's more of a gunfight format. But alongside that, for our multiplayer modes, we're going to be having access to Team Deathmatch, Domination, Hardpoint, Kill Confirmed, Inflation, which is a new game mode that's going to be coming with the game, and Search and Destroy is also going to be available, which was a pleasant surprise. I know a lot of people basically only want to play Search and Destroy, and therefore many previous betas don't really give them a good indication of what Search and Destroy is going to play like in the full game. This time, Search and Destroy will be there for both weekends. And then they also said we'll have access to Kill Block, 10v10, as well as 3v3. And they're also going to be giving us access to a mobility course. Now, as far as platforms go for this first weekend of the beta, it's basically all of the platforms aside from Nintendo Switch 2. So we've got Xbox Series X and S, PS5, Xbox on PC, Steam, and Battle.net. Whereas for the second weekend, this one runs from August 28th to September 1st. And this is going to be the open beta, so no pre-order or beta code required to gain access to this. Anybody can just hop on and play. And with this, we've got everything that we already outlined in the first weekend, but on top of this, we're going to be gaining access to the new Warzone Resurgence map that they're going to be talking about at CoD NEXT. This is called Zodiac. So there will be a Warzone portion to this beta, which is nice for those Warzone players out there. Then for multiplayer maps, they're also adding Lithium into rotation as a 6v6 map. And then, of course, we have all of the same maps that we had previously, although I don't see Lotus outlined there in the second weekend, so I don't know if that means they're actually removing Lotus for weekend 2, or if maybe they just forgot to include it here. It does seem kind of weird that they would take a map away. Either way, the next addition we're going to be getting here is Ground War in the second weekend. And this is coming with an apparent new mode called Combat Outpost. I think that's the game mode, and it looks like we'll have access to 2 different Ground War maps, Imjin Farmland and Wolves Stadium. Now, in addition to that, we get a new multiplayer mode as well called Hijack, and then obviously Combat Outpost, which appears to be tied to Ground War. Not too sure what Hijack is going to be, though. And then on top of that, we'll have access to all of the same multiplayer modes as the first weekend. And this time, when it comes to platforms, it's all of the same platforms, but they're also including Nintendo Switch 2 for the open portion of the beta only. And I think I might just have to check it out on Switch 2 for the second weekend. I'm very curious to see what it looks like and plays like for that. But there we go. That is the big info dump we got for the beta. And as I said, this is a huge amount of content for a beta. Usually it's just like multiplayer with maybe 4 or 5 maps, a small handful of game modes, not including Search and Destroy, and then maybe a little bit of Ground War for an Infinity Ward game. But there's a lot more on top of that this time. So a lot going on there. I'm curious to see if they end up adding more information as the day goes on. Obviously, I'm making this video right after this information dropped because I want to get this video out for you guys. I have no idea if they're going to be drip feeding more stuff, but if they do, I will leave a pinned comment down below, just letting you know any additional information that we may learn throughout the day. Now, taking a step back and looking at the big picture here, another big thing that I'm liking about this beta so far that I talked about in the past is they're giving us a bit more of a lead up time to the launch of the game than they often do with their betas. So I'm hoping that means they have a fair amount of room to make adjustments based on feedback from the beta. Because one of the big criticisms of CoD betas is they're effectively just a demo and they're just used for marketing. They're not really used as a beta to gather a bunch of feedback and make some real fundamental changes that may need to be made based on feedback. But then again, looking back to last year with Black Ops 7, they actually made a lot of big changes from beta till launch. So I'm hoping we see that kind of momentum carry forward. Obviously, it's a different studio. It's Infinity Ward. They're not necessarily known for responding to community feedback as well as the other studios. I know they've got new studio heads this time around, so maybe things will be a bit different here, but I'm not going to hold my breath on that. I think that's just an area where they have to prove themselves, and time will have to tell when it comes to how receptive they are to the feedback that's given. Another big thing that's obviously up in the air right now is what the matchmaking is going to feel like. They have confirmed that we will have access to open modes in the beta, but it seems like the primary matchmaking is going to be the new quote-unquote classic-inspired matchmaking that just recently effectively took over Black Ops 7, and many people are very unhappy with that, myself included, so curious to see what that feels like and plays like, but if it does play bad, I'm just going to be sticking to the open modes, I guess. And one final little note here that I just wanted to tag in is with how big this beta is, I'm actually a little bit worried that we don't have enough time to really fully dive in and experience everything that this beta has to offer because there's just so much going on with it. And I guess in one sense, that's a good problem to have. It'll give everybody a taste of something. But I honestly feel like I might struggle a little bit to be able to dive deep into every one of these experiences and really take it all in. And one big element there is kill block. I was really hoping they would have a separate kill block alpha before the beta where we can really just dive deep into kill block and nothing but kill block. And I felt that would be a great little taste of the game before getting access to the full beta. Whereas instead, this time around, it's just going to be a part of the beta. And I want to play and experience kill block a lot, but I also really want to experience and play a ton of the 6v6. And I definitely want to at least dabble a little bit with Ground War on top of that. And then for many other people, they're going to be interested in the Warzone side of things. Not myself. I don't think I'll even jump into that at all. And we've also got the campaign mission. Although with the campaign mission, I'm sure it probably won't take any longer than like 20 minutes, half an hour to get through it. I don't know how long a typical campaign mission takes, but that's where I'm at with all of this. And this is where I want to hear from you guys in those comments down below. How are you feeling about all of this beta information that we got today, especially the fact that we're getting a full campaign mission as well as some Warzone action? Are you guys generally excited for the beta? Is there anything that you felt is missing here that you were hoping we would see in the beta? Just let me know all of those thoughts down below. If you enjoyed the video, a like rating is always appreciated, and don't forget to subscribe for more if you haven't already. I'll talk to you guys next time.